Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's How's the Gold here with my predictions for the UK Silverstone Grand Prix. This is going to be my home Grand Prix and my first video since my exams have all been finished. So that means I'll be able to upload a lot more frequently, a lot more regularly, and on a much more regular basis, which I'm really pleased about. And this will be the first of them, and it's the predictions for the UK Grand Prix that's going to happen this weekend, I think. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, let's get into predictions. Qualifying, I think Vettel will come first, Hamilton will come second, and Rosberg will come third. I think Vettel's really high on confidence at the minute, or even higher than usual, because of his outstanding win in Canada. It has to be said, very almost lapped the entire field, and that proves he had a really dominant car. And hopefully it doesn't affect him in the race, because I'm not a huge Vettel fan, but I'm afraid it will in qualifying and probably in the race as well. So I put him first because he's high on confidence and he's done well in Canada, and I think he'll do the same again here. I put Hamilton second and Rosberg third because the Mercedes are always fast around qualifying laps. This because it doesn't have anything to do with tyre wear, although the tyre test may say otherwise. But I think they're always there in qualifying. You can never count them out no matter what. So I put them second and third because they're always going to be there. And fourth I put Webber. Fifth I put Alonso, and sixth I put Raikkonen. Webber fourth because I think he'll have good memories of this track from last year, where he won, of course, taking Alonso on the last lap, or last few laps. And I think he'll be high on confidence, hoping to do the same again this weekend, although I think he'll be slightly outperformed by his teammate, unfortunately. And I put Alonso fifth because he's just, I don't remember him having a great Grand Prix, apart from that time I led in 2012 for most of it. That's the only time I can remember him having a decent time at Silverstone. So I'll put him down in fifth because in qualifying, I think you're still trying to be figuring out the track a little bit, figuring out where the groove is and everything, put into NASCAR terms. So I've put him fifth because he's not, I don't remember having a great time here, apart from where he qualified in the rain, I think it was on pole. And that Ferrari wasn't great as well in 2012, so I put him fifth because he won't be too low, and his Ferrari is faster than last year as well. So when there's no rain, and by the way, these results were all based on a dry race. And I put Raikkonen sixth because once again I don't remember him having a good Silverstone either. Although I was there last year, I actually can't remember having a good race at all. And so I put him there because once again he's there or thereabouts. He's a definite title contender, but I think he'll be just lagging behind a little bit the others at this track, as I don't think it suits the Lotus very well. Then I put Grosjean 8th, Button 9th, and Perez 10th. Put Grosjean 8th because, like his teammate, Lotus have really gone downhill a little bit, and I think this could be one of Grosjean's last races as Maldonado could take over. So I put Grosjean 8 because he'll be slightly down on that sort of fact, but I think it's reality for him, and I think that this track once again doesn't suit the Lotus well, so I put him down 7th and 8th because just that reason. If your car doesn't work around the track, it's obviously not going to go around as best as other teams, will it? But 9th because Perez 10th, because they're both in one here, because they're driving a McLaren. And if you remember last year, they had a really bad race. They finished 8th and 10th with Hamilton and Button. But Perez and Button, I think they'll have slightly worse qualifying. I think they'll be quite far below 9th and 10th as I predicted, because once again I don't think the McLaren's made the progress everyone expected it to be. I think they're going the right direction, but I just can't see them doing well anytime soon. So I put them 9th and 10th. They'll be able to beat the Toro Rossos just in the Williams. And the Force Indias into qualifying 3, but that's as good as they can hope for, I think, in qualifying. Now moving on to the race. I put Vettel for the win. I put Alonso second and Massa third. I put Vettel first because I think he'll dominate again as he did in Canada, because he was very dominant there, and I think he's got into the hang of winning again, which is not necessarily a great thing. I have put Alonso second because I think, and I put Massa third, that's supposed to do both, because I think they both jumped the Mercedes. I think there'll be I think with the long sweeping turns at this track, Mercedes will fall down the field, and this will give an opportunity to both Ferraris to make their way up through the field. I think Massa will make a lot more positions than Alonso, but I think he'll still finish behind him because in the Ferrari 2-3, which would be great for the constructors. I put Webber 4th, Hamilton 5th, and Kimi Räikkönen 6th. I put Webber 4th, I can't read my own writing. Webber 4th because basically he'll be high on confidence, so he'll make up positions. He knows how to win at this track. But I think Vettel will be too far ahead, and he may chew up his tyres slightly more than the Ferraris. So I put him down in 4th because I think he'll do well. It'll be a good Grand Prix for him in terms of his championship hopes, but I think he's out of the championship already this early on in the season. Put Kimi Räikkönen 6th and Hamilton 5th. I put Hamilton 5th because I think Mercedes will chew up their tyres, and I think he's got slightly less tire eating driving style than Rosberg. But then Rosberg's high on confidence still after Monaco, but I put Hamilton 5th because I think this is home Grand Prix and he'll have that extra half a tenth of a second or something that he gets by driving at his home track. Raikkonen 6th because once again Lotus is not suited to this track, and I think that's the best they can hope for. And this track will chew up their tyres a lot more than most other tracks, especially in Copse Corner and Stowe Corner. And then I put Rosberg 7th, Di Resta 8th, and Verne 9th, and Ricciardo 10th. I put Rosberg 7th because I think his driving style, as I said, will chew up his tyres a lot more than Hamilton's, but he'll still be able to maintain the points, and then Mercedes a double points finish. Di Resta 8th because I think he's got the hang of sort of doing John Eric Verne in a way. Qualifying bad and then doing really well in the race. So I'll therefore put Di Resta in 8th because he'll qualify outside the top 10, but I think he'll really be able to make it into the top 10 quite well in 8th place, and in 4 points. I put Verne 9th and Ricciardo 10th because Toro Rosso I think are the team on the move at the minute. I think they're the team that's got the hang of the racing. Maybe not so much qualifying, but I think they've got the racing knack of this, and I think they'll be able to really pull it out, and I think they're going to have one of the strongest seasons this year even. And so I put the 9th and 10th because I think Ricciardo, he's had a bit of bad luck lately. He's been taken out in Monaco by Grosjean, and he sort of had early problems in Canada as well, so I think with a problem-free race he'll come in 10th. And I think out the battle at the back between Marussia and Caterham, I think this weekend it's going to be the Marussia that's going to have the advantage. Caterham have definitely had the advantage in recent races, but I think this is definitely going to be a Marussia's track because Bianchi I don't think has shown his potential. I think he's crashed out quite a few times in Monaco and Canada. And fingers crossed he can stay in the Grand Prix and actually finish this time because I think he's got the ultimate race pace. Out of all the back markers, apart from maybe Kovalainen if he joins back, but even so that will even take time. And finally, I think that I'm going to identify one problem with Sauber, and that is that basically they keep getting taken out in every Grand Prix. I can't remember in Australia and Malaysia, but China, Gutierrez hit the back of, I think it was Adrian Sutil, and from then on they've just had constant problems, even with only 5 points. But anyway, that's a different story. This gameplay in the background was me racing in 3-lap races Mark Webber from 9th to 5th place, no 4th place even. So please make sure you like and subscribe for more. There'll be a lot more content coming out on this channel, I'm pleased to say. Maybe 1 a day, maybe 2 or 3 a week, depends what time, but I'll definitely be uploading a lot more. So please make sure you like and subscribe for more, and I'm out of here.